Welcome.
Hi
Start the show with this every time. Welcome.
to Counting Cryptids.
You already know what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
You already
right.
know
'cause I
what it
said
is.
Yep. Okay. I'm Jacob.
I'm Connor,
Hello.
introducing ourselves yet again.
Cool. So I guess to start off, we just posted a question about sort of related to
Today's episode.
on Instagram, and we'll kind of get everybody's answers on that as we go, and have answers at the end. Is the idea.
If you're listening now, it's not posted. It's already been posted. It posted while we're recording.
Yeah. So you have to pay attention.
Get on those social medias.
Well, what is the question, Connor? Verbatim.
The question is it a good idea to release clones of extinct animals back into the wild? Vote yes or no. Not now, in the past. Hop in your future car and go back, a few
future
weeks.
car doesn't do that.
I mean, who knows? In a few weeks from when we're recording this, there could be a future time machine car.
Yeah, but if it's a future car, it would only take you forward in time, right?
I mean, it's so futuristic that it can also go in the past.
Oh, okay. I misinterpreted the adjective.
Like a car that goes into the future. It's just a car.
It's just a car in the future. Okay. I understand now.
Has
Sorry.
the time
That's my
machine
mistake.
capabilities to go in the past.
Do you want to talk about your thought on that now?
Oh, yeah. You want to get off right there on that? Let me see. It's a very interesting question because I kind of want it to happen. But another side of me is other than to research the animal and maybe monitor some of its vitals, I really don't think you're going to get it integrated back into the wild without some serious consequences.
Well, I feel like we have such a difficult time with already endangered species. Why wouldn't we just kind of gear that funding towards
saving
conservation
species,
of those existing ones? That seems like it would be a smarter use of funds. The only thing I see is a company doing this as some sort of a gimmick. You know what I mean?
Oh, that sounds so
bringing something back, which seems dark as fuck. But at the same time, you know what I mean? If it's a fucking dodo bird or something,
be pretty funny.
Do I care that that's then around? Also, I'm pretty sure they
it's animal torture though. You're just gonna bring it back to life for entertainment?
See, but it's not actually a dodo at that point. Whatever you bring back isn't actually bringing it back.
As close to a dodo as you can get.
Yeah, but so they talked about doing. There's all this talk about mammoths and cloning mammoths and introducing them into the fucking Arctic tundra and shit, just to stop global warming. Okay, but
I mean, I did hear that
that's just an elephant with hair. It's not a mammoth.
Right,
it just looks sort of like a mammoth. It's just an elephant that looks like it.
But it's an elephant that can survive in the Arctic, and apparently, in theory, it's stomping down snow,
makes
it so it melts slower, thus slowing down global warming.
Slowing down not necessarily global warming, but the melting of
the
ice
caps.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true. I heard that or read that. But again,
it seems the arguments that I have heard for this are kind of things that went extinct because of humans in the last 100 years or whatever it was. I don't remember the time span, but more recently because it's
be too far removed
with the natural selection. With natural selection, they had argued that something else would have evolved to take its place over the time that it took for the one to go extinct. So again, if this is natural, then nature theoretically has time to work itself out. Life finds a way. But if it happens rapidly, in the course of 10 years, then it doesn't have time to fix itself. So I think the argument was if it's something that we have in the last 10 years, if it has gone extinct because of us, it might be beneficial to bring it back. But I don't understand how you could bring something back in such a quantity that you've brought it back from the brink of extinction to now. It just it exists, because you're not just making one, and that's a lot of money to make one. You have to make at least two to make a third from that. You're just making Adam and Eve, and here's $16 billion. Fingers crossed, brother.
And then you gotta breed them, because more. I would assume
then
since
you
they're
have
already
to-
gone extinct that they're not going to be able to survive.
But then you
in
won't
those
have genetic
conditions.
diversity. And so you can't really expect them to continue to breed on their own and be a viable species. Because most of the time, I think you end up with like a mule situation, like a donkey and a horse, because those are sterile. So you end up like with something that can't. I think a liger is also the same thing. Like I don't think you can make a liger with other ligers. I think that's a tiger and a lion.
Or a Libra, a lion and a zebra.
Okay, that's not real though.
That's my horoscope.
All right. So you're where were you at on that? Yes or no?
I think no in general. Just kind of avoid items.
I like the idea, but I think it's probably we already fucked up. I think it would be a better use of the money to go towards conservation of other
support groups
other species or similar species or something like that. It's into wildlife management in the area where this thing no longer exists. So if it's a prey animal, then you have predators without food. So then they're going to start encroaching onto expanding their area to try and find food more. So then they're encroaching on human territories more. So you know what I mean? It's just kind of like
essentially the further the extinct animal is from today or when the future when they're actually able to do this, like the harder it is to bring that animal back. Just the ecosystem isn't fit for that kind of thing. Like say you bring back today's topic, the Tasmanian tiger,
the thylacine, into Australia now, and it annihilates all the emu population. Or some other species. I thought the Tasmanian emu was already extinct.
Tasmanian emu is extinct, but another species.
I think there's a massive like overpopulation issue with kangaroo in Australia, though.
Bring back some. Maybe that's a arguing point
I don't
bringing them back.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, I'm under the impression that there is way too many kangaroo. Lucas,
I see a lot of people getting kicked by kangaroos on the internet. I would assume that there's a handful.
I've seen videos that it looks like it's water flowing and just fucking a field of kangaroos running.
That's disgusting.
It's gross.
What is like a huge population of pig, I believe, in the South United States, where people like fly over in helicopters and just fucking shoot as many as they can. Just like in herds. I feel like this is on Joe Rogan at some point.
So they've talked about like if like goats, I think in New Zealand, they have like a Judas goat, so they take one and sterilize it, and they
Judas
put a remote collar on it. No, like Jesus and Judas. So they would put a remote collar on it, and then it'll go find goats to hang out with, and then they fly over with a helicopter and gun all the other goats down, and then that goat's like, okay, I got to go find more goats to hang out with, and it finds more goats, and they just gun all those. Yeah.
That is the worst torture of animals out
I
there.
think the Judas goat's got it the worst.
Yeah.
He's just looking for people all the time.
Where the
and then
fuck did all my friends go?
Just under fire endlessly.
The thunder killed all my friends.
That's fucked up.
I must go find new friends.
I'm on no. I think you said you were also on no.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with no.
Let's see what everybody else thinks on Instagram at the end.
Yeah. So tune in to the very end.
All right.
We're talking about that again.
Into the main episode. Today we're talking about the thylacine, also known as the Tasmanian tiger or Tasmanian wolf sometimes as well. However, it is not a tiger or a wolf.
No, the scientific name on that tangent of names is Thylacinus cynocephalus. Cynocephalus.
Syphilis?
Thylans. Who writes these? Seriously.
It's in Latin.
Why? Who speaks Latin?
Scientists.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Biologists. I don't know.
Anyway, the scientific name means dog-headed pouched one.
Okay, yeah, I guess they are marsupials, which is something that I did not know until recently, and that kind of freaked me out. Obviously, a kangaroo, they have a pouch, but their pouch is on the butt side.
It's an ass pouch.
It's an ass pouch.
Where
it's right
the
underneath
males
the butt.
keep their testicles?
Yeah. The males have males and females have a pouch. There's only one other marsupial I found that had this trait, the water possum. Yeah, it was the male pouch is described as a protective sheath covering its external reproductive organs. A general appearance is a medium to large sized dog with a stiff tail and dark stripes down its back, which is where the tiger kind of comes in, is the stripes down its back. It's kind of affectionately referred to as such. Also, the wolf is kind of just, when they call it Tasmanian wolf, I think that's just because it kind of looks like a dog.
Yeah, it
has canid features.
It's 39 to 51 inches long, with an added 20 to 26 inches for a tail. Like Jacob said, it was pretty small tail, I guess, thin. It's almost like a rat or something.
It seems like a large tail.
I mean, it's a fairly long tail.
It seemed kind of girthy.
I don't know. I feel like they don't have a lot of hair on them.
They're not like long haired. They're short haired.
Yes.
So the tail kind of like, they look kind of slick. It's kind of like a kangaroo tail, actually. Believe it or not.
Actually, yeah, that makes sense.
Marsupials. Let's go with that.
So they weighed between 33 and 66 pounds, once making them the largest marsupial carnivores.
Okay.
Did you mention this? The pictures to me didn't look like this description, which is yellowish.
Oh, the pictures are all black and white.
Yeah,
and maybe
you're right.
The yellowish kind of adds to the tiger moniker as well. So if it's kind of like yellow with some darker stripes, like that kind of would play into the tiger.
Picturing a tiger, I can see it now. Like the yellow before just seemed odd.
It might be more like yellowish, like kind of like a deer or a kangaroo, like kind of has
orange-ish, brown, yellow.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like a dusty kangaroo. I don't know.
Is that a sex move? The dusty kangaroo? Gave her the old dusty kangaroo on Valentine's Day. Yeah.
You wouldn't call him blonde. Got
would you?
Some big old balls hanging down there.
Link will be in the description to check out that kangaroo balls.
Kangaroo balls, okay. So they're naturally nocturnal, but most of the anecdotal information that we have about them is from the daytime in captivity. Right. There's very little from wild stuff. So some of it is a little strange. It was described as being stiff in the way that it moved. This was also described in the wild. So because of that, it was unable to run at high speeds.
I did see that, yeah.
It can't really move its tail a ton either. Like, I guess it can, but it's kind of like fused the vertebrae in some way. So it is very rigid. I also saw that it could hop bipedally like a kangaroo and even stand on two legs for a period of time. So that's kind of
like a small dog might.
I saw like we'll link to some videos. The last one, there was like a couple in a zoo. There's a video of the last one that was in captivity alive. We'll link to some of those. It's kind of sad, but you see him like hopping up and kind of like pushing at there's like somebody standing on the other side of the fence. So it's kind of like jumping up and just like pushing at the fence at him.
Kind of like a monkey might jump.
It kind of just looks like a kangaroo and it does that shit.
That's crazy.
Which is really weird because its face does not look like a kangaroo. It looks like a dog. We didn't talk about this. Its mouth is fucking insane.
Yeah. I was gonna bring this up. Holy shit! I'm real quick. That was you. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up earlier. I saw on one place that it could open up to 120 degrees, which is fucking.
I'll link to a special picture for its jaw. Its mouth opens insane.
But I think it's like probably more like 80 degrees, which we saw in some other sources.
So I saw 80 somewhere and 120 somewhere. 80 is probably more realistic. We'll link to some pictures. If it's 120, let us know.
Either way, it's extremely ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Like, it could fit my head in its mouth, probably.
Its mouth was really large as well. I think it had like 46 teeth, but I don't know what the fuck a dog has.
I don't even know how many I have.
So it saw some weird things about smell. Some said it had a, quote, strong, distinctive smell. Others described a faint, clean animal odor. And some said no odor at all. It was suggested that it could have given off a foul odor when agitated, similar to the Tasmanian devil, which is its closest living relative, either that or the numbat.
Like similar to a skunk?
Sort of. I don't know that it's like quite the same as a skunk to the point where it's like a straight defense mechanism where like a skunk is going to like turn around and like lift its tail at you and like also be hissing.
Spray you.
I think it's just like just gets gassy.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Gets nervous and just
fart when I get exactly like you're tickled. I also saw Thylacine described as being relatively shy and non-territorial. It was noted they had like a small home area, but didn't seem to fight with other groups over land. they'd like see like groups that appeared to be larger than like a family in an area just hanging out together sort of thing, which I thought seemed interesting.
Yeah, at a few points in history, I believe, like people have like put out, I don't know, bounties on these Tasmanian tigers.
They
just like to kill them because they were killing livestock.
Yeah,
and shit.
so there's some argument over this photo. I'll link to this one as well. This is gonna be a fucking weird episode.
There'll be a lot of links.
Yeah, there's a photo of a thylacine with a hen or a chicken in its mouth, like standing outside behind somebody's house.
Yeah, black and white and shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was 1920s,
yeah.
I believe. So they used this as propaganda to like argue against like fuck this animal sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a debate of if that is actually real or if it was a taxidermized thylacine and they staged the photo. It's a really good looking photo. The version I saw was cleaned up to look fucking fancy, but
still black and white. And
it's really hard to tell. Like,
like
there's somebody saying that it was from like further back. I don't know if his involvement. I don't really remember. I should have taken some more notes down about that. But
what if somebody had that in their collection?
The taxidermized thylacine.
How much would you pay for
Jesus Christ! I do not have the money for that.
No,
there's no way I'd be able to afford that.
Worth millions
I could buy like a
dollars.
megalodon tooth, but there's no way I could afford that.
How much is it? I want a megalodon tooth.
There is a link to that in the megalodon episode description. Just
I'll
saying,
go check it out. We talked about it farting. It also made some noises with its mouth.
Yeah. There's a wide array of noises that it would appear.
Like growling and hissing, like are common to hear before. Some threat yawns. As
I saw
called.
that. Is that just like look how big my mouth is?
Yeah, just it says guttural cough-like barks.
Yeah, I saw that was a different. While hunting, it would emit a series of rapidly repeated guttural cough-like barks. Is what it said.
Yeah, like yip yap,
yip yap,
k yip,
hop hop hop,
hop hop hop,
hop hop hop.
Just imagine in pursuit. Hop, hop, hop. It's a Disney movie just waiting to happen.
It said they also had a long whining cry as well as a low snuffling noise, which was used for communication between family members, allegedly.
We should put that one that you had earlier in post.
So we'll talk about that later. That's not this animal.
Oh, okay.
That's a different animal that we'll talk about later and remove this part. I will have to go and double check if there's any audio from those old videos from the zoo to see if we have any sounds from a thylacine.
I doubt it.
This would be a really good spot for that to go. I do as well, but this, one way to find out. Go watch all the videos.
Go wind.
Yeah, I'll, when I listen to it, I'll probably go check it out too. So just throwing this one out here too. So there was a study by the University of New South Wales in 2011 using advanced computer modeling indicating that, quote, the thylacine had surprisingly feeble jaws. Animals usually take prey close to their own body size, but an adult thylacine, around 30 kilograms, 66 pounds, was found to be incapable of handling prey much larger than 5 kilograms. 11 pounds. Researchers believe thylacine only ate small animals such as bandicoots, yes, that's a real fucking animal, and possums, putting them into direct competition with the Tasmanian devil or the tiger quoll. Such specialization probably made the thylacine susceptible to small disturbances in the ecosystem. But it also said something about their stomach could be distended to hold larger amounts of food during scarcity. Mm-hmm. So that kind of seems like the thing, like, wouldn't that mean that you'd be able to eat larger things because
your stomach can
scarcity? Yeah. If you're only eating like an 11-pound thing, you have to eat like a couple of those if your stomach needed to distend. In my mind.
Yeah.
And it's in times of scarcity. I don't think you just like stumble upon like 4 rabbits. I don't know how that shit works. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a scientist or a biologist, but
nor am I.
I don't know.
It's interesting. It's
I just wanted to include that as well, just because that seemed strange.
Did we include? Have we brought this to the forefront yet? Like this episode is about the Tasmanian tiger, thylacine, but that is still alive. I don't think we've brought up that it's extinct yet.
I mean, okay, go for it.
So apparently,
this animal was alive. Yes,
it was once very common across Australia,
mainland Australia, New Guinea, and Tasmania.
Yes,
and recently fossilized footprints have been found suggesting the species was prevalent on Kangaroo Island as well.
Ooh, Kangaroo Island. Why wouldn't it be there? I want to be on Kangaroo Island. Fuck. So they were once common across those three places. They disappeared pretty suddenly 2,000 years ago, and except for
that was mostly on mainland, right?
Yes,
mainland Australia. There was a very steep decline. I think it was just like of the like quote unquote megafauna, like the larger carnivorous mammals.
Larger.
I think were hit pretty hard.
It gets its common nickname, the Tasmanian Tiger, from being found like in Tasmania. The last known living member of the species died at Bay Maris Zoo in Hobart, which I'm assuming is in Australia, on September 7th, 1936. Allegedly.
His name was also allegedly Benjamin.
Yes.
But the guy who was claiming that this was his name in the newspaper, like a couple of people that were actually associated with the zoo were like, hey, this guy never worked for us, and he was never named Benjamin. But he was maybe named Benjamin, and there was some question about the what if it was male or female.
Yes.
And there was, I think it was in 2011 before they finally could confirm, because I don't know if nobody wrote it down or whatever the fuck, but there's a single frame that they like zoomed in, and yeah, like you fuck with the like the levels and the exposure. It gave the percentages they used, and like when you get it down to this, you can clearly see the shape of the two testicles. I'm like, yes, this is amazing. Just a single frame examining, like those kind of look like balls. But they have it's in the pouch, so it's really hard to tell. So they had to fuck with that stuff. So I don't. It's just, to them, yeah, right. Like
let's try and find these
Photoshop.
Balls.
Yeah, let's go. Come on, Adobe.
Balls deep in that Tasmanian tiger.
Balls deep
pouch.
in that thylacine.
We didn't mention it. Probably died in captivity due to neglect and like some bad weather situations.
Talk about that. So I was a little salty about this dude. There had been some suggestions that it had died due to neglect because it was locked out of like where its sleeping area, and it had been like a strange period of weather where it was really, really hot days and then like freezing temperatures overnight. So there was some extremes with that, and I think they were kind of finicky about eating specific things as well.
Yeah, you had to get fresh wallaby blood. I read at one point.
Yeah, that took that to get it to fucking eat it, because it didn't want to eat a live one or a dead one. It just didn't want anything to do with it. So I don't. They seemed like a little finicky.
It made it all. It had a lot of problems in captivity across the board. Like not just this one specimen, Benjamin.
They noted though that they did live a couple years longer in captivity than in the wild. Typically.
Oh, okay.
That last one was maybe not that example. I had like 6 to 7 years was the average lifespan, but up to 9 in captivity. I
was going to add Benjamin, the Thylacine.
Allegedly, yeah.
He was at this Beaumaris Zoo for 3 years, I believe. So before he died. So it makes you wonder if like he was treated like shit the whole time, or just like one summer people like lost interest or some shit.
Zoos still exist that suck though.
100%.
Like in other countries, especially. Like I'm sure there's some in the United States as well, but I would guess that number is much lower. Also, SeaWorld's kind of fucked, but I probably have to cut that out so they don't get sued.
SeaWorld even a thing anymore? I thought that was gone.
No, I think it's still a thing. I don't know. But
sketch.
Yeah, I don't know. If I listen back to this, maybe I'll still feel empathetic and find some sort of like place where you can donate money to help
zoos or stuff.
Close shitty zoos and save animals that are being neglected or something. If I find that, I'll keep this in and throw a link in the description and probably throw a bunch of money at it too.
Metal horns.
So we talked about. I mean, do we need? What do we do
real
now?
quick.
Yeah. Sorry,
I got something here for. So, pretty much after Benjamin died, they said no more. There's none in the wild, none in captivity anymore. Obviously,
I don't think they like knew it was the last one either.
You don't think
until like a little bit? No, I don't. I think it was like a little while after. Oh shit! Where did I put the? So it was an official protection of the species by the Tasmanian government was introduced on the 10th of July, 1936, 59 days before the last known specimen died in captivity.
What the fuck, dude? Took you that long, bro? There's one left. There's one left. Hold on, don't fucking kill him. Bruh. Anyway, since then, there's been some rewards offered for catching one or catching at least like
evidence, like
evidence.
undisputable evidence of one.
One of those people that started it off, I think it was in 1983 with Ted Turner, the media mogul guy. Ted Turner is a
Timmy
company.
Turner? Timmy Turner. What?
Ted Turner, the media mogul. Is that a business? Is Ted Turner like a company, or is that a guy? How are you a guy media mogul? Like I feel like media mogul is like
no. Mogul is not like a
company that's large.
No.
What do you do as a media mogul?
A mogul is a person.
A muggle is what you're thinking.
No. An important or powerful person, especially in the motion picture or media industry.
What did he do?
American media mogul and philanthropist. As a businessman, he is known as founder of the cable news network, CNN, the first 24 hours cable news channel. In addition, he founded WTBS, which pioneered a superstation concept of cable television.
Fuck this guy. Anyway, in 1983, he offered $100,000 for proof of the continued existence of the Thylacine. Also, in more recent years, actually still a long time ago, 2005, Australian news magazine The Bulletin offered $1.25 million for the safe capture of a live thylacine.
I'd also heard allegedly that there was some university offering something up as well on a podcast I listened to, but I didn't see specifically which one, and the gentleman in the podcast could not remember which university it was either, so I cannot specifically confirm. I think we're going to actually play a section from that interview at the like very end, as well as just link to
it might have been Harvard
and that whole podcast. I think it was in Australia.
Oh, was it in Australia?
I believe it was Australia. Yeah,
a story about a guy from Harvard later.
Okay.
So and then in addition to those first two, there was first two or three, there was a reward of $1.75 million, which was offered by some fucking Tasmanian tour operator known as, his name is Stuart Malcolm.
Seems like a publicity stunt, but okay.
100%. So
he was pretty sure that there wasn't one, is what you're saying?
No, I just think it just was a non-issue. Like, while rewards were offered, the terms of the Thylacine's protections state that the trapping is illegal to trap Thylacines. So any reward made for its capture is invalid. So
you can't get the reward. It's just baiting you, like,
you
catch one, bitch. You can't
get the license, so you can't catch one legally, and you're not going to get the money anyway.
Okay, what if you just like have a live trap out and just like happen to stumble upon one?
I don't know.
And then then you just call the authorities, like, hey,
I just don't think you'll get the money.
I accidentally caught one.
Come check it out.
Oh, you're saying like, yeah, you just have to let it go.
Against the law.
That's just what you just have to let it go. You can't hit him offering that money. Like, you're allowed to do that, but nobody can bring it to him. And if you do that, then it's illegal.
I feel like those people offering rewards should get punished a little bit. You're enticing people to do something illegal, essentially.
Yeah, and catch it alive. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you don't want you to hurt it, but at the same time, it's like you're stressing out an animal that's
super rare.
I guess it's not extinct, but super rare at that point. And you would assume the population levels are very low if it's seen so seldom. Well, I guess we'll kind of get into how not quite seldom it is seen. Well, you had mentioned a story. Do you want to get into your story? I guess sighting is maybe what we call that on these sorts of episodes that are more realistic.
I have
than
that. It's more of under the "Is it real?" segment. I will start with Andrew Orchard, a man obsessed with the thylacine, has spent his life fascinated with the stories of catching and spotting thylacines, much after the reported extinction date that he was told to by his father. So his father had like trapped some and shit, apparently. Like after 36.
Oh, really? His father had allegedly caught some after the extinction date?
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's no photos or anything, but he like now spends his time searching and studying the thylacine. He's got like bones and fucking shit in there. Just checking out, you know? It's like a little shack in a farmhouse that his great grandparents lived in, and it was built in 1906. He reportedly spends around $5,000 just on batteries for his trail cams, and his wife left him because of it. She doesn't give a shit about the Tasmanian tiger.
Oh no!
Sorry, bro.
But he could make so much money if he got a picture.
But he says there's like hundreds of reports that come in like since the 36 or when.
I've seen upwards. Extinct. I've seen a lot of different numbers. I saw 3,600 have come in since then. I've seen upwards near 5,000 have come in since then.
I think it's just total like overall reports. Of how much Andrew's taking.
It's probably like hundreds. Credible reports as well. It's probably closer to the hundreds that are like more realistic.
Right now.
Well, yeah,
I'm not going to. That'd be an asshole mood. Move.
I saw random trail cams just like on sale somewhere the other day, and I thought about picking some up. I don't know where the fuck I'd put them.
Out back, and then just record your dog walking through, and you got a Tasmanian tiger sighting.
Boom. That one dude did it with golden retrievers and fucking tagged it online. I'm triggered by that. Fuck you, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I think also it would be cool to just like, as a community, everybody buy a trail cam and just like put it up somewhere. And then just if you get anything, yeah, even if it's like nothing like that cool, it's just like, oh, it's a rabbit. Whatever, I don't care. Fucking throw it up.
Sick. Look at that rabbit.
We'll set up a special channel in the Discord for trail cam footage.
Yes.
And just Cryptid Counter trail cam footage.
Cryptid Counter CCTVs. There's more to the story. I really didn't want to get into his life per se. I got pretty dark with his wife
other than his wife leaving him, yeah.
I really didn't see I kind of skimmed through this article. I didn't see a whole lot of like he found anything. But he goes out there. There's articles from the New Yorker.
I don't know how to feel about situations like that because it's very admirable to continue on that. But when you have things that's like your life sort of falling apart. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like things, I mean, you know what I mean? There could be other reasons too, but you know what I mean? It's just like, if all you do is just spend a shit ton of money and all of your time doing this, it's probably pretty hard to maintain a relationship.
You do you. If that's what makes you happy, fuck yeah.
I'm undisputed, but like, I feel like you can't just like spring this on your wife after having been married for like 5 years. Honey. Like all of a sudden.
No, I don't think this was something he sprung on her. I think this is something I
don't know his life situation.
Like he's been interested since childhood. I think it just kind of.
Okay, I suppose that's fair.
It's been an ongoing thing.
Maybe it's escalated.
Maybe underestimated it or something. Like, holy fuck, this guy's crazy.
Or, I mean, yeah, it could have just escalated, or it's just like, it fucking got old, and it's just like, you can't keep doing this for forever. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
$5,000 a year on batteries, Clive. You can't spend that kind of money on batteries.
Anyway, did you have more to the story other than his wife leaving him?
No, not really.
Okay.
Just the link will be in the description for that one.
So I have a couple of stories I grabbed from Thylacine which I will be linking to in the description, obviously. This one's pretty cool. They have a lot of different sightings listed out on this website. I believe you can report sightings on there as well. And on some of the sightings, they have like a review sort of thing, like a credibility, they give it a score.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like based on a number of different things, like how many people saw it, where it was that you saw it at, have there been other sightings in that same location? Is
it something you can vote on?
No, so
they have like a staff that
they have I think that it was just like their staff, their group. There's 3 gentlemen who run it.
Okay,
I read you their names earlier. They all have like 4 different nicknames.
Oh yeah.
Again, they had a lot of information on here. It was nice. Again, we'll be linking to that description. So this is all quoted directly from their accounts on there. So this one comes from August 12th of 2012. And this one's on the mainland in Victoria. No name on this one either. It was posted by an anonymous. Yes. I was standing in my lounge, and out the window I saw the end tail of what I thought was a stray dog striding down the center of my court. So being an animal lover, I naturally went to investigate. I saw the animal dart behind a van across the road and into the yard across the street. When I came around the van, I saw an unusual long-legged, short-haired animal looking shiny and unwell, with a long tail that was bent up slightly at the end and brushing the ground. The animal was panicked when it saw me and tried to jump the fence. I remember thinking, it's not a dog. It was moving wrong and its legs were too long for a cat. And it wasn't a fox because it had dark ring markings on the tail and was a gray-brown color, gradually darkening towards the rump. I took some steps back so not to corner the animal, and it almost jumped along as it ran across 2 yards into a bush where it stopped and looked at me in the eyes. Its eyes had dark eye lining markings like a big cat, but I called it like a dog and said, "Come here, puppy." At this point, the gas meter man came around the corner, and the animal moved across the road into a building site and through a fence. As I did this, I looked up at the man and asked if he had seen that, and he said, "What was that?" It wasn't a fox. I went to investigate, and he went on with his job, saying he sees some weird things on the road. And by this time, the animal was gone. I spent the rest of the day with this animal popping into my head because I was worried for this animal's health and wondered what the heck it was. As I described the event to my partner, the first thing he said was Thylacine. I've had goosebumps since. Could it be possible?
That's a great story. I don't believe it to be true.
Well, they didn't even necessarily say that it was a thylacine. It's just like that. I don't know.
It's a mangy dog with a broken tail. Little gimpy.
I also don't know all of the fucking flora and fauna of Australia.
That I have no idea.
And you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of videos on this as well that I'd be, again, throwing links to these in the descriptions of like more recent sightings, people catching stuff on video, and some of them look pretty damn close, but at the same time, like, it totally could be a fucking fox. Which, again, I will link to an image of a fox in the description that looks kind of similar. The major defining thing, like, difference is like ear shape. I guess we didn't mention this before. The thylacine has like a shorter kind of rounded ear, and a fox is a little bit longer and kind of pointed. Yeah. So that's easier to give away in a video. But I've seen a video of a fox running with its tail very stiff like that too. So it's hard to know if that's like, you know what I mean? Seeing some of these videos, it's really hard to tell, because some of, like, one of them I was looking at, I was like, I was pretty convinced for a while, but
you really got to spot the dick pouch to know that
it's too far away to see, you know, and there's like grass in the way too, but like it really looks like one. And then there's that photo. I'll make sure to link to that too. There's going to be a shit ton of links on this one.
You got to check them out though.
That photo that we looked at too is pretty good. But there's a lot of videos that it's just like, I think it's a fox. I think it's a cat. There's not enough there for me to say like definitively like, yeah, it is.
Is that all you have for that story?
That story, yes.
Okay, let me get into some really, like, I don't want to say that these guys didn't see it, but the video that I saw of their trail cams and zooming in on what they thought was a thylacine, couldn't make it out whatsoever. Very pixelated.
Where it was like on the left-hand side, it was just like for a quarter of a second, it just like went.
No, it's like it's back behind where some other stuff is happening. It zooms in. Check out the link when I send it to you. It's really bad. But anyway, you know, maybe they saw something. They did some reenactments. I don't know.
Oh, they did a reenactment video of what they saw?
So they like set up like a board, and then they had a board cut out to look like a thylacine, and then they took a picture of that from where the camera supposedly was. But where they zoomed in wasn't where the thing was. It was so confusing.
I'll double check that when I look at it.
Yeah, I got it in the links in the description. On Good Friday 2015, the Booth Richardson Tiger team, a trio of men including father and son team Joe and Greg Booth, and a friend named Adrian Richardson, captured a thylacine on camera in the wild. Strapped to the teeth with 14 trail cams, the group covered an area within 50 meters of Maydena. They would move the cameras to get better at different angles every other night. According to a quote from ABC.net, Richardson said, "I don't think it's a thylacine. I know it's a thylacine. He has been studying Tasmanian tigers for 26 years and is convinced of its veracity." Greg Booth, who was the one who originally stumbled across the thylacine, said, "I couldn't believe it. I couldn't sleep for days afterwards. It had a really big head, a really long snout. It had a scar up here, probably pointed to his head or something on his head. Its ears were pointed and it had white around the eyes with dark brown eyes set back in the skull of the animal. It was sitting down and looked at me. I was about 8 feet away from it. I noticed the paws. You could see the stripes. The tail of the animal went down and had a bit of a curl right at the end. Greg holds out saying, they've never been extinct and they never will be.
His description's pretty good, but their ears aren't pointed.
That's what I was thinking.
Everything else is pretty good. Some of it I don't. Is it people trying to fake it, or like is it like they want to see it, so then they see something and they're like, that wasn't this, that wasn't that. Maybe it's just like a fucking stray dog.
Mm-hmm.
In this instance, you know what I mean? I'm not specifically a stray dog, just saying in an instance. I
mean, there's some pretty definitive things that like sets it apart from most things, but man, it's hard to spot the differences. Like that could be a fox.
It's in the videos and stuff. It's so hard. Now the description of the stripes though, because he said it had the stripes.
Yes,
that's very. I mean, it's not. It seems very unique to the thylacine, but it's really not in that area. There is other smaller marsupials that are like closer to rodent size that are smaller that have the same sort of patterns to them. I think quolls is what they're called, like the tiger quoll and stuff like that. So there's other ones that have these same things. I believe the tiger quoll is also a
carnivorous marsupial.
There you go. So fucking Australia, what are you?
Also, I don't know this. We talked about this earlier before the show about hyenas.
Mm-hmm.
Hyenas are in the fucking desert. Like they're in like not the desert, but they're in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like thinking that they're in the same place as where the Tasmanian Tiger is supposedly. I don't think that's the same place. I don't think there's hyenas in Tasmania or in Australia.
I just Googled where do hyenas live. And it says Africa. Spotted hyenas live in Africa and can range in habitat from grasslands, savannas, woodlands, deserts, forests, and mountains. They usually sleep in dens. In Africa.
So no. I think they look similar to a hyena though.
Okay.
Not identical, but they're very similar as far as patterns.
Despite the hyena's once large range across Africa and parts of Asia and Europe, all 4 hyena species today are found mostly in the African savanna. The only exception to this is the striped hyena, which is often seen roaming the jungles of India and Western Asia.
Don't think that's close. I mean, relatively close probably to some us, but
I mean, like I think
close.
Japan is close to Australia.
Yeah.
Eastern Asia is closer to Africa.
Okay.
It is, I don't know, arguably not, well, it's further than Japan, but not a ton further.
It would have to be a very, very off track.
And there's a lot of islands too. So I mean, I think what are you going to do, like Indonesia and shit down there? I'm really bad at geography, but
I'm really bad. Madagascar somewhere in there.
Oh, I thought that was closer to Africa. I thought that was an island off of Africa.
Between Africa and Australia. But like
much
closer
I think
to
that's
Africa,
like right off of Africa though.
Yeah.
Are we fucking getting off topic and having to take a drink over the location of Madagascar? Madagascar's like right off of Africa. Are you fucking...
Yeah, it's right off Africa, but it's between the two continents.
I mean, yeah.
Quite a bit of ocean between Madagascar and Australia.
Like most of the ocean.
Well, yeah, but...
Like across the world, it would be all of India
a triangle
and
between
half of China.
Madagascar. Like there's a triangle there that encompasses the places we're talking about, off the tip of fucking Madagascar over to Australia, up to India and down.
Do you see how close Madagascar is to Africa?
Not close at all.
No, to Africa. To Africa. How close Madagascar
it is right next
to
to
Africa.
Right next to. I wasn't disputing that.
It's like right there.
You could get a sea bridge over there.
You could fucking swim that.
No chance. You think you could swim that? That's probably like 100 miles.
At the closest points? Motherfucker, you're on.
Okay, the first one comes up is Mozambique and Madagascar. I was going to search that.
Yeah.
1,193 kilometers.
It's 740 miles.
Yes.
Okay, you
7
probably
times.
couldn't swim it.
7 times what I said.
You probably couldn't swim it. It's a lot close. Okay, but the distance between that and Madagascar and Australia is like America to Australia. Like, it's not close.
You have to swim from Texas to California. Texas to California. You have to swim from Texas to fucking...
We're done with this. We're done with this. It's all getting cut out. I have no idea where we're at. Did you finish that second story? Or whatever you were talking about? Any idea?
I did. And their videos are trash.
Oh, okay. We'll link to any of that and figure out a good place to end. So my other one, again, is another story from that, another eyewitness encounter from that Thylacine Research Unit.org. I do have a name on this one, though. This one was, the sighting was by Colleen. Outside
Thanks for calling.
Campbelltown, Tasmania in 2011. The 24th of December around 9:30 p.m.
We should get some voice actors to do these quotes.
We were traveling across Tassie from the Spirit. It was very quiet, being Christmas Eve. We hardly saw another car. We had passed Campbelltown, but I cannot say how many kilometers passed. It was dusk. Our headlights were on. It ran across the Midland Highway in the beam of our headlights. I said to my husband, "What was that?" I knew it was not a cat or a dog. It was too big for a fox. It was light brown in color and had a straight long tail. But it was hard to distinguish the exact color in the headlights. It loped across the road and disappeared into the scrub. We had never seen anything like it before, and it was not until we were at Mount Field Info Center and saw a picture of the Tassie tiger that we realized we had seen one. I now see that there have been other sightings in the same area. So there have been other sightings in that general area as well.
Which was where again?
Just outside of Campbelltown in Tasmania.
Okay. Well, that makes sense then, yeah.
So again, it's one of those things they saw and they're like, oh, that's kind of weird. I don't know what it was. It's hard to make out the color, but then you see something you're like, oh, fuck, it looked just like that. I don't know. That's kind of convenient, but also like...
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking, I was like, I feel like there's a few of these stories that are just like way too convenient. Like, I saw this, and then I learned about this in school the next day.
I think it's like kind of a big deal too. Because I think people are into it. I think it's cool as fuck.
From my research, there's many groups looking for the Tasmanian tiger. Or like interested in researching it.
As a pro for this, there is a lot of sightings. Like, not all of them are credible, but some of them are quite credible. Yeah. In that, there's a clip we'll play eventually. They'll talk about like a park ranger claiming to see 4 of them, but there's strength in numbers, I guess. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of fucking Bigfoot sightings too. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that. I guess maybe we'll get into that someday. But
this was a real animal. Like, there was this evidence that
undisputed. This existed at one point in time. Right. There's nothing you can say to prove that it did not exist.
Yeah, it's all hoax for some reason. But like Bigfoot, on the other hand, does like there is no known.
We've never had a body. We've had bodies.
Thank you.
We just haven't had any recent. So it's kind of
drop the bodies at my feet.
Corpses, dropping corpses at my feet. A large amount of land was covered, like in its prime. Like it existed over a long place. A lot of that area is still like relatively untouched or unpopulated. I guess like a lot of most of Australia's population is in like 4 major cities, and there's some smaller ones. But I am under the impression that there is a lot of
wildlife.
Yes, there's a lot of just like
in savanna and
I would call it, I think, desert maybe, but that's just like I don't know.
It's not cornfields, so I don't know. I don't know what they are.
It's not cornfields.
I'm assuming maybe there's cornfields. I don't know. Lucas, write in.
It's just kangaroo fields. It's kangaroo fields.
Fields of kangaroos.
I'm under the impression there is a lot of wilderness.
Yes, that's a good word.
And not places that aren't being looked at regularly. And you know, what the fuck are you?
No reason to spend any time there.
It's like a long ways away too. So,
There's a lot of poisonous shit.
Yeah, right. Also, I guess we'll talk about this now too. I'm just kind of on like my pros for why it could still be existing. Strike the numbers. Yes. Some of them credible. There was a lot of space. Some of it's not looked at.
The thing for me is there is almost none of all the sightings. There's almost zero like decent evidence that they're still alive. There's no, in my opinion, really like believable photos of it.
Other than there's that one photo.
There's a couple that are pretty good, but I could easily dismiss them as any other animal. Like that is, this and the, coloring or the shade or something's wrong, or it's a hyena that swam across Madagascar.
I think that's
from
less
Madagascar
likely.
to
Definitely
Australia.
Less likely. I don't know that they live in there. Also, I guess I'm going to mention this now too. They recently rediscovered a species of dog similar to the dingo in New Guinea, New Guinea Highland dog or singing dog, and it's like the first confirmed sightings in over 50 years. I think it was like maybe 2012 or 2016 they found those. So it's been a couple of years at this point, but I do have a clip of that. It says in the description of the video that I believe that she may have been in heat. So that might have been a different sort of thing. So I do have another one here that is 6 singing dogs all at once. A link to both of those as well in case you want any information on that, I guess. A million other links on this one.
Do an internet search for like Thylacine research, and there's some different organizations that are looking into it. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because it's definitely been around, and it really hasn't been that long since it's been declared extinct. Like, for me, it's a long time because I've been around for 27 years. But like in the reality
that
of
singing dog, though,
everything, yeah,
that was the first confirmed. There had been like 2 photographs taken, one in like 86 and one in like 2005, and then I don't remember when those other ones. But that's more recent. The video, they had some more like 15 photos or something. They had some videos of them and stuff now, but I don't know. It seemed.
And I was trying to see if there's like other animals. I know there is other animals like the singing dog.
I think that have like Bondo apes too. Is that real, or are those the ones that they're still looking for?
I don't know. I couldn't find any because I suck at internet searching.
Yeah, so I mean, they discovered a new species of ape in like 2011, the Billy ape, or Bondo mystery apes.
Mystery apes.
So that shit happens. So there's not been any like bodies found either, though.
Yeah.
The thylacine has a pretty unique footprint. Also, it's very distinguishable from like a fox or a dog in like the placement of its pads, and it has non-retractable claws like a dog would, but its pads are closer, almost in a straight line, whereas a dog's come down further.
It'd be pretty easy to tell the difference.
It's pretty easy from my understanding. But again, no bodies found. I did see a suggestion that like Tasmanian devils like they eat everything, so they just like
devour it,
clean it up, quote unquote. If
how
they
many
found
of those
it,
are roaming around that they're just like
Tasmanian devils. I'm pretty sure they're still around quite plentifully, but I could be mistaken.
Just like
in Tasmania,
fucking vacuuming the forest floors and shit.
Well, like obviously they don't eat the bones, so I'm not sure if that's the kind of thing that
where do they
are
eat
people
them?
Not looking for like bones, or you know what I mean? Like, how's that work? You stumble upon a pile of bones. You're just like, yep, it's a pile of bones. Shit dies and gets eaten. I don't know how that. I don't know.
Guess that they like carry the body off into like a hole and then eat the bones. No,
I don't think so. I feel like they just fucking
sit there and
go
munch.
ham, but I don't know. They think they're like the apex predator now.
Really?
Yeah.
Little fat little guys?
Yeah, Tasmanian devils. I think the Thylacine was
right
just because it was bigger.
No, there's really no other.
Like they didn't really have for the same food source, I believe, but I am pretty sure the Tasmanian devil is the apex predator.
They didn't really have somebody. They weren't prey to anything except for humans. Like there wasn't anything bigger than them.
I don't know
like
if prey is the right word, but yeah.
I mean, we're not using them to eat, or like they're not our prey per se. But
okay,
the only thing that was bigger than us in the area was humans. Bigger than Tasmanian tiger. Might have been really confusing.
It's whatever. We'll figure it out.
Is that all you got for stories?
Yeah, that's all my everything. So real quick, you should pull up and play that clip from that podcast so we can listen to it. I think we're only going to include like the last 15 seconds on here. I will make sure to link to this clip video as well as the full podcast.
It had gone off. Except for the
description
biologist I was telling you about, who said it ran around with his dogs. Whoa. Yeah, he's out camping and he's like, oh, there's this red eye shine and my dog goes nuts and runs over there. And then there's 4 thylacine jumping around with my dog. Like for like 15 minutes. And he's like, I'm trying to get a picture and you know, it's like 300 yards away. It's in the dark and without the flashlight and the phone and like.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So it's basically 100% that this thing's alive.
I mean, as a scientist, you can never put that number, but to me, yes,
sure.
That's why I've done 2 expeditions and I plan on doing more. I feel it's out there.
What do you feel, Connor?
I feel it's out there. Actually, I don't. I don't think I subscribe to that theory.
I'm really into this.
Good.
I'm really into this. Like I really like the ones that like for sure used to exist. And you're like, no, like they're not anymore. Like they talked about on that same podcast, they talked about like giant sloths existing in this fucking like highland in, I don't remember, fucking Peru or something. Like the only way to get into there is like, it's only accessible from a helicopter. Like all the like local tribes like on either sides of it like have different names for it, but they all have stories of the same thing. But he thinks that there's like some up there or something. So that seemed pretty interesting. And there's for sure things out there that we don't know exist or that we think are extinct that are still alive.
100%.
I mean, as far as like other episodes that we've done, like this one is probably more likely than the other ones. I would say maybe I'll look at all of our episodes and see. But I would put more stock in this one than
Santa Claus. Or
I mean,
Black Shark.
Ahul is a little interesting, but I don't know about that one either.
I don't know. I feel like we're pretty skeptical.
I mean, I'm on board with this one. I'm gonna say yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say yeah. I think that they could still be.
This is like Jesus Christ to me. Like,
I think that they could still be. There could still be a couple of them thumping around out there. I've never been, so I guess I don't really know.
That's the whole thing. Like I have no concept of what
not
even
a professional.
Is Australia.
This isn't. Maybe we should have started this at the beginning of the episode. We are not scientists. We're just 2 guys talking on a microphone in my basement
available
drinking.
On the internet. Poorly researched internet sleuths.
Sleuths?
Sleuths.
Okay, I'm gonna say yeah.
All right, and respect you for it. I don't know that I can.
That's fine. I don't care. Let us know what you think over on social media.
Yeah, do that.
Also,
find that at countingcryptids.com.
We do the 1v1?
Yeah, we got to put the Tasmanian tiger up against
the Thylacine and the boohag.
The boohag, yeah. Is the Thylacine going to end up as the boo daddy snack?
So does it only as far as I know, the boo-hag really only does anything to people.
Yeah.
It just
You
like
don't know what to
sucks
do.
their life force. I assume. I mean, if it
would be so
if it
confused
takes
by the
their
ball
skin,
sack.
by the pouch.
Yeah.
If it takes their skin, I assume it's able to rip them in half or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. It gets their skin. I assume it would just skin it. You know what I mean? Its jaw was feeble.
It's got to be able to do it.
It's just a terrestrial animal. There's nothing special about it. I give it to the boo-hag, unfortunately.
It could easily skin a Tasmanian tiger.
That's where I'm at.
Apparently, the jaws are pretty weak on the Tasmanian tiger.
Allegedly, I don't know the validity of that, but supposedly
just a
people
lot
who
of
are a lot
muscle in
smarter
there, I
than
don't
me
know.
did some things with computers who are much smarter than them. So I don't know.
You just got a slop jaw.
Slop jaw. Oh God.
I like the boo-hag win in this one though. The boo-hag didn't really stand a chance at all against black shark.
No, definitely.
But I think the boo-hag wins this one.
That's where I'm at.
I mean the Tasmanian tiger isn't very good at living in captivity. You just catch it and he's just like, oh, fuck this. I'm not eating. I'm not mating with that attractive young Thylacine over there. I'm out.
All right. Well, let us know what you think. Who you think would win over on Twitter,
And
or I guess over on social media, not just Twitter.
over on
all
social
of
media,
the social
Facebook,
media,
Instagram, countingcryptids.com. We posted a poll at the very beginning of the episode.
on Instagram. Yes, we talked about it and then got into a lengthy discussion
About it.
immediately.
Let me throw some things out there.
Did
So,
we get some answers?
before I get to the answers,
Okay.
so while it's still up in the air, we disagree on whether it's alive or not. Geneticist George Church at Harvard University has devised a way to bring them back. So, as he's
okay, yeah, this bit.
he's devised a way. Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could that they didn't stop to think if they should. Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum Man Group.
Yes. But this George Church at Harvard decided that his strategy would be similar to Jurassic Park. I think they've got full DNA from a thylacine.
Yeah, it's like a
through
little
preserved
flattened one.
There's a preserved one in Melbourne
Link in
Museum.
the description with 10,000 other links.
Yep. Check out those.
To find a
links.
way to organize those on this one. Jesus Christ.
So Church thinks it's suspects that it may be possible to tweak the DNA of the thylacine's closest living relative, the numbat, in order to impregnate a female. The numbat only grows to the size of the common squirrel, so I mean it's not going to be able to be fully birthed from this fucking little rat. So he speculates that you could move the growing embryo into another close relative like a kangaroo or wallaby or something. But I mean, even if that was possible, the thylacine doesn't have a very good reputation for staying in captivity for long periods of time, especially mating in captivity, which make it really hard to
You spend all
multiply
this
those
money
numbers.
and bring them back together, then
It
again,
just
you're
dies.
back. We had this conversation at the very beginning. How
Right.
do you, it wasn't good in captivity before. And if you're growing it inside of these other things, it's not, I don't think it's going to be 100%
It's not-
straight thylacine. I guess maybe it will I don't know. How
And
that
they don't
shit
even know
works.
if it'll act exactly like a thylacine. It's essentially a brand new species of animal.
That's just resembles a thylacine.
Yeah. Closely related to a thylacine. I don't know if you can get it 100% without some crazy shit.
Mm.
But that begs the answer, whether it should be done or not.
And what did people say about that?
Over on Instagram, we've got a little bit of a split. Instagram, 57% said no, should not be done.
57%?
57. And then the remainder said yes. If you combine them both, Facebook and Instagram, tied.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
right down the middle.
So this one, we don't really have a clear answer.
Ooh. It's a tie.
All right.
I mean, that just shows like how complicated this kind of
Well, and that's the
the
thing, is it's
morality
like,
of this stuff.
Is that even a thing that, like, I don't know. And again, I like the idea of it. It would be cool to see a mammoth.
Absolutely, I love to see a mammoth.
Elephants are kind of, they just poop. They just poop so much.
I'm going to keep my distance. Like, wow, that's large. That's a very large mammal.
Yeah.
I'm going to move on now to the giraffes. They'll eat a banana out of my hand. Next, we're going to get into what you thought of the boohag versus black shuck.
Hell yeah.
Got anything else you want to add?
We need the Instagram. So we're gonna do this. That's a new thing we're doing now. Trying to ask like sort of related to the epised questions before.
Yeah,
on there, try to get some answers. By then. Did anybody comment or anything on there?
I did have a comment. I got Gibby's here on Instagram. He says, "I'm no scientist here." Right back at you, brother. We are not scientists. But like, what if there's risks of old diseases or mutations that will spread? Or maybe that's not even possible. Look, I don't know, but there's a super important counter argument. Dodos are perfect babies and never deserve to die. I want dodos to be cloned.
Dodos. I don't know that
Just
dodos played like a vital role in anything,
whatever.
But just because of dodos, like, again, I'm not opposed. It would. I just see it as more of like the kind of thing some company is going to do as like a gimmick, and like, we're going to clone dodos, and then like we're the only zoo in the world has dodos.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's like a flex your fucking scientific muscles right
but
there.
But also that's like a huge attraction sort of thing. So I don't know. I don't know if I can talk slander about the big D, but Disney.
Oh, are they going to say Donald Trump?
No, not Donnie T. But like, if they did,
I would
like,
go.
If they
I'm gonna
did
be honest with you,
let's
I
think
would
about
go.
it. If they did an Ice Age zoo,
I would go.
And they brought back a mammoth,
I'm
and
there.
a giant sloth, and dodo
Road trip.
birds.
Get in, Counting Cryptids meetup at the extinct fucking museum.
Like, they'd spend a ton of money, but do you not think they would make a shit ton of money off of that?
They would make a shit ton of money.
Ugh.
And they're not dinosaurs yet. So, like, I think the problem starts when you bring back really big, like, aggressive dinosaurs.
And you put them on an island somewhere?
There's the line. That's the line. We've seen it. So last week we had the Black Shuck, which was the winner of the tournament from last season.
Correct.
And we put that up against our first episode of the season, the Boohag. And here are those results. You all voted on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Hopefully. If you didn't, do that next time. Find all those links on countingcryptids.com. So on Twitter, we had 43% Black Shuck.
Okay.
So Boohag wins with 57%.
Okay.
I feel like some of these didn't shake down like I thought they would, but I think at the very end, we're going to see I think it's going to be close all around.
Okay. Well, you have Facebook now?
Facebook.
Okay.
This one's
closer.
split.
Oh, okay.
No, this one's more split. This might be the deciding group right here. Facebook people. 33% Boohag to the 67%
Really?
Black Shuck.
Okay.
That's quite a large margin there. And then not quite as far apart, but still a little bit apart. 37% Black Shuck to 63% Boohag on Instagram.
So did you have those percentages all added up? Do we know what the overall... No, you don't? Okay.
Black Shuck won.
Oh, Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah.
People
barely.
voted against us. Okay.
Barely. Like 46-54 split.
Wow. Okay.
black shuck barely.
Well, I mean, like
Edging
overall, I think the black shuck is superior, but it's just this weird instance of the boohag being able to like steal skin sort of thing. I don't see why it wouldn't be able to split a dog in half. I guess if it wasn't like a terrestrial dog, maybe that would be harder. Maybe I voted incorrectly, but it's too late for that now.
No, I don't know. I still think boohag should win, but it's really hard up against. Or I think black shuck should win up against boohag, but
We voted boohag.
is very, I don't know, mysterious. I think a lot of people got hung up on the boo daddy, which I don't blame them.
We both voted
Black
boohag.
shuck.
No, we voted boohag.
Did we really?
Yep,
Are you sure?
100%.
Somebody wants to verify that on social media, drop us a line.
I listened to the episode to make notes, man. I promise.
All right, man. I am a couple weeks removed from this episode, so
That's fair.
I'm not sure. Boohag and the Boo Daddy.
All right.
Take
well,
it over.
Head over to social media and let us know what you think about this week's poll, which is going to be last week. Again, the boohag versus this week's Thylacine.
Yes.
Facebook.com/countingcryptids, Twitter.com/countcryptid, Instagram.com/countingcryptids. All of that can be found at countingcryptids.com. And where else, Connor?
Gobblesquatch.com.
Yes, there it is.
Thanks for checking out this week's episode.
If you want to get your 2 cents in, answer this week's polls on social media.
You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, as well as Discord.
Links for all the social media, as well as everything else we talked about on the show, are available at gobblesquatch.com.
If you have any questions, concerns, suggestions, or you just want to chat, you can email us at countingcryptids@hotmail.com.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and tell your friends.
I've been Connor,
I've been Jacob.
and we'll see you in a couple of weeks for another fascinating installment of Counting Cryptids.